again everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're looking at the map scale grid references. Now if you see on the board there are lines and there are numbers. So there is the grid, a kind of grid formation. You can see quite a number of grids, and we are going to look at naming the grids. Okay, our objective for the lesson, of course, is to be able to determine 4-figure and 6-figure grid references. But before we do that, we're going to make sure that you can actually name each grid. Okay, so let's look at naming 2 of the grids. If we look at this grid here, all of this grid, we can see that this is 70 because here to here it's 70. So we can see that this grid will start with the 2 numbers 70, and then we can see here that this grid is between 62 and 63, so we know that it is 62. Okay, so this grid would be 70, 62. Let's look at naming this one here. It's not a full grid, but we can name it. Okay, so we can see that it would have passed the line for 73, so we know it's still within 73. Okay, and we can see also that it is 61, so that this grid would be 73, 61. Okay, now why is it important to learn about grid reference? It is important to do that because when we can actually determine 4-figure or 6-figure grid reference, we can give the location of things or places on a map using a 4-figure or 6-figure grid reference. If we want to give a general location or we want to find something in a general location, then we will work with the 4-figure grid reference. But if we want to give a specific location of things or places on the map, then we will go for a 6-figure grid reference. Okay. Now in determining the 4 and 6-figure grid reference, we need to pay attention to the numbering. Okay? Now pay attention here. This vertical line, it starts with 70, 71, 72, 73. If you notice that the numbers increase as they go toward the east. Yes? As they go toward the east, they increase. So we call them eastings. So these vertical lines are called eastings. Eastings. Let's look at the horizontal lines now. 61, 62, 63, 64. If you notice that they increase as they go toward the north. We know that north is up here. They increase as they go toward the north. So we call them northing. Okay? So if I write this right here, we call them northings. Northing. Okay. Lovely. So in giving grid references, we give the eastings first. So we look along these lines first, the vertical lines. Now, I'll actually tell you what will help you to remember which one to give first. So if you're going up a flight of stairs, in most cases you will go along the corridor first, okay? So to help you to remember, to give the eastings first, just remember along the corridor and then up the stairs. Okay? So along the corridor for the eastings, you give that first, and then you work with the northings, the horizontal lines up the stairs. Okay, so let's look at giving a 4-figure grid reference. If this was a village and there was a farm here, say a farm right here, right in the center there, what would be the 4-figure grid reference? Now that is easy because in actually naming the grids, we have actually done that. Okay, so if we look at the eastings first, we notice that it is between 72 and 73. So we know that that is grid 72. Okay, so for that, it would be 72. And looking at the horizontal lines now, going up the stairs, it hasn't yet reached 64, so we know it is 63. So the farm would be located at 72, 63. So if someone wants to give you the location for something or a place on a map, they can give you a 4-figure grid reference or a 6-figure grid reference. And you know in CSEC, you're going to be getting something like this, an item like this, okay? Don't forget to subscribe so that when I upload other videos, you'll be the first to be notified. So hit that notification bell. Okay. Now, if we should do another 4-figure grid reference, supposing there is a school right here, what would be the 4-figure grid reference for this school here? Let me move it from here and let me put it right here, right there, okay? School. Now, in giving the 4-figure grid reference, we notice that there is no vertical line, there is no easting right here, but we can determine what it is because this is 70. So we know that for the first two numbers, it would be 69 because 69 comes before 70. Okay? Going up now, looking at the northing, we know it would be 62. So that would be the 4-figure grid reference for the school. Okay, let's look at determining 6-figure grid reference now. It's still easy, but some persons may have difficulty in doing that. So in doing the 6-figure grid reference, what we do is to segment each grid, okay? So if we're looking at the 6-figure grid reference for the farm, then we're looking at identifying the first two numbers, all right, eastings first. So we know it's 72. 72. Okay, and we also know that for the northing it is 63. Okay, 63. Let me remove this from here. Okay, so 73, we know that, okay? And we need another number to go with 73 to make it 3 numbers because we need to have 6 numbers. So 3 numbers for the eastings, 3 numbers for the northings. How are we going to get our third number? Okay, so like I said, we're segmenting the grid, right? So it's right here. So we can see that this is 72, this is 73, and we can see that it is just about halfway. If we were doing math, we would know it's 0.5, but we're not doing math. So we will not have any points, but we know that this is 5. Okay, so let's segment it. So this would be 0, this point here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and this makes it 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this makes it 10. Okay, So there we can see that because it's just about halfway, it's about 5. So we say 73, 5. Okay? Looking at the northing now, we can say 63. And we're going to do the same segmentation of the grid. Okay? So we are going up. So it is about halfway there, which we said that it's 5. Okay? And we do segmentation again. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that makes 10. Okay, so there it would be 73, 5, 63, 5. That would be the 6-figure grid reference for the farm. Okay, so let's look at another one. For the school right here. Okay, segmenting again. We said that it would start with 69, right? Okay. And we can see that if we're segmenting, if we should have another line here and we're segmenting, here would be, because it's almost 70, here would be about 9, okay? So this would be about 69, 9. And then we're going up now for the northing. It would be 62. And if we say here is about 5. One, 2, 3, 4, at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, they're not completely equal in segmenting it, but you can do that even better than I'm doing it. Okay, right, and sometimes it can be 1 in, 1 out. So that would be 62, 9. Okay, so that would be the 6-figure grid reference for the school. You see how easy that is? All right, so keep practicing and you will do well. See you on the next video.